And that is always nice. So now it's just, you know, beautiful. It's beautiful right in the sun, like right in the sun, which I love. And how can you not want to be in the sun? I think even striving for a life where the sun is abundant changes your life because no one wants to be in the snow all the time. Life is just easier when it is a consistent mild temperature every day, where you know it's not snowing, there won't be any rain. I know it's going to be a nice, mild temperature. And the thought of knowing that your life will always be in a nice temperature because you want it to be. Hear me out. I don't want to have sustained lengths of time in cold. So if I'm going skiing or going to the mountains and it's snowing, sure, that's by choice. I'm going and then I'm leaving. I don't have to battle the snow to get to a grocery store or to get to my place of business or to do anything, because I do appreciate the snow. It's beautiful. I appreciate any terrain. They all have their individual beauties. It's just the one that I want to be in all the time will never be snow. And I made that choice pretty early in life. I would never be somewhere that was cold all the time. And we actually have the choice of where we want to live. Good evening, bless tone. My beauty is just without other adjectives. So my challenge is just to be beautiful. So yeah, I would never live in anywhere cold. And I take pride in that because that is an official statement for me. There is never a time where I would live somewhere and for me suffer in the cold. Now, I have. But I did it enough where I knew I never wanted to do it again. Meaning anyone, and I'll use New York as an example because I don't think New York is that great. It's not that great. What's up? The 1284? It's terrible. It's disgusting. It smells bad. And there's no trade-off. So when I say there's no trade-off, if you were to live somewhere, let's say Southern California, the trade-off for maybe the higher cost is the weather, is the fact that you could get to a beach or an ocean or to mountains. That trade-off, I could say, okay, for the money I'm spending, that's worth it. For me, New York, nothing's worth it. And and I've lived in Jersey before. But here's the thing. I would always hear people say, this is terrible. I hate this, but they don't do anything about it. I remember the exact winter in New York where I said, I'm never going to do this again. That is the difference between me and you. You will say, I hate this, but there's really nothing I can do about it. I don't like this so much. I will never, next year, I will not be feeling this. I will not suffer this. I will never do this again. That's the grittiness that I have. I can get to a point where I don't like something so much it will never be in my life. I've never understood this. Well, I can understand this because most people, as my dad would say, are wimps. But my sister, who still lives in New York, I think she's been there for, if not 20 years, just over or under. And anyone on the East Coast, but I'll use New York specifically because New York has that name. It's New York and the skyline and the Big Apple and fashion and music and everything. But you never hear anyone say, I love New York in February. I love New York January 17th. They don't. In fact, anyone who actually has the resources to leaves during the winter. It's terrible. It's gross. It's freezing. There's nothing good about it. There's no sun. Like, it's brick. It's atrocious. And it is not fun. And I said, yeah, I'll never do this. Now, I also had lived in other cold weather places. And my sister visited, she was in DC earlier this week for her occupation. And I said, how beautiful was DC? Because, you know, I used to live in DC. She said, well, it wasn't. It was raining. And I thought, rain doesn't take away from the beauty of a place. The weather actually doesn't take away from the beauty. Something can be, it can be snowing and beautiful. It can be rainy and beautiful. It can be gloomy and beautiful. The weather doesn't really take away from the beauty of a place, because I do believe DC is beautiful. There's areas that are beautiful, but that automatic thinking of if the sun's not out, it's not beautiful. I also say that's people who haven't really seen much. you haven't really seen much if the only instance of beautiful weather is sun. And that also comes with, like, with traveling, I don't really look at weather. And I see this with my family, especially, checking the weather. I'll know the next day and I'll dress for it. But to look at the weather and expect it to be terrible, like seeing, okay, it's going to rain, my day is ruined. No, it's just going to rain. My day will go on. I've also lived in London, where it rains a lot. So I never would think my day is ruined because there's rain. It's just raining. I can go on with my day. I'll have my umbrella. I'll dress for the part. And I'll expect to navigate rain. And it's not a bad day just because it rained. It's not a bad day just because it's cold. It's not a bad, there are no bad days. People so easily place one meaning to bad and predict it and expect it and just go out believing that the day is not going to be exceptional because of that. Sure, that's wonderful. Yeah. Driving a truck or a trailer, I mean, the US, there's so much to see. There really is. And I've done a lot of road trips with my family, nice road trips. Let me say this. We did like a road trip to the Grand Canyon, but it wasn't, I've heard of these road trips where kids were just stuffed in a car and you drive for 18 hours and you don't stop to get food or stay in a hotel. It wasn't like that. This was in a nice SUV. We would stop and eat at different restaurants. My dad would look at the map and plan. This is like in the 90s, 80s, 90s. We would stay in a nice hotel every night and then take these scenic ways. Oh, wow. Okay. So you must have seen a lot of the roads and a lot of the open pastures and a lot of farm town because most of the US is open land. Specifically, well, all of the states, but California, I can say. Um, Outside of the cities, it's a lot of open space and it's a lot of farmland. And California grows a majority of the nation's produce, as well as a majority of the world's produce. A lot of produce comes out of California. But Nevada, Texas, New Mexico, Utah, Montana, you go through these other states, and it's just wide open land. And I loved the road trips. Well, I've always loved traveling, and my dad loved traveling and he loved to drive, and he still to this day knows like all of the freeways and interstates. And that's how this comfort with traveling and this comfort of exploring started. Because traveling can be daunting if you don't know how to travel, if you don't know where should I go, what should I see, it can be daunting. And the beauty of these road trips with my mom, my dad, my sisters, staying in beautiful locations, was the comfort of just exploring without fear. Because if that's not a thought, to explore is like so daunting. Like, what is it to explore? Thank you. Yes, Tree, I'm sitting in the sun. So I tan. I was actually tanning without clothes because that's what I love to do daily. It's a part of my ritual to come out and take off everything and sit in the sun. Plus, here's the thing, you look so great with the sun on your skin. Thank you. That was the purpose. Thank you, Sun Lover 421. And thank you, Tree. Yeah, I come out and I tan naked. I strip everything off. And my, I don't, I, I think my mom's used to it. I've always been doing this. Since I was a kid, I was the one that was like, I want to be free. And I would just run around with no clothes on. And I remember on New Year's, for several years, I would, when it would turn midnight, me and my sister would, me and my sister Faith would, it's 77, would strip off our clothes and run naked down the street, down our, it's a residential suburbia block, to the corner and back, and then put on our robes and come back inside. So I guess being without clothes is my most natural state. But yeah, the sun came out and I said, I have to go tan. And I was just thinking how beautiful it is to just get like 10-20 minutes of sun in a day, to strip off your clothes and just lay in the sun and let the sun touch every part of your body, how nice it feels. And then you don't have tan lines, and we just look better with a little sun. And when I took my shower today, I use all of my sister's products. So she had new exfoliating products, so I had a whole spa day. Like, yeah, let me just enjoy the goddessness. Let me just, salaikum salam, just oil down and lather up and exfoliate and vitamin C and mask and eye moisturizer and all of that. And then come take off your clothes, get completely free of clothes and sit in the sun. It's so liberating. And then I'm like, yeah, now all I need is like a dress and a place to be. Because I already have the perfect glow. All I need is a beautiful cocktail dress, a beautiful location, and a beautiful reason to arrive. And that's the message to tan, to have that courage of sitting outside with no clothes on and enjoying it, enjoying that freedom, enjoying that little life's gift. I know. Oh, yes. And I love the Arizona sun. Um, I don't need you. I have me. I don't need anyone. I have me. Remember, I've built myself up. I've gathered a lot of information in life through traveling, through all of these beautiful endeavors that I don't need anyone. I have me. I am able to conquer, solve, and be everything that I need. So, Darren Hawkins 237, I don't need you ever. I have me. If I want you, I will have you by my side. But let's get this clear. I never need anyone. Let's get this clear. I need the sun. Darren Hawkins 237, I don't need you. I actually put on olive oil on my skin today when I came out to tan because I put it all over and I just sit out without any clothes and tan. And I was thinking, yeah, I need some Mediterranean sun. This is, yes, let me call this in. And so I slathered some nice olive oil on my skin. And I think I sat for like maybe close to an hour. I don't know, 30 minutes, quite a while. I love the beauty of tanning and seeing how comfort or I'm glowing. Well, your shiny is my glow. We just have different ways of selecting words. I love you too. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Stitches. Well, yeah, I have my water. I made some delicious mushroom tacos. And I need to tell my mom because there's this cast iron pan that we've had for years, and I'm gonna tell my mom when you and Dad transition, I have to have this pan because I've been seeing it since I was a kid, and it's a thick cast iron pan, and I sliced mushrooms, I sliced garlic, I sliced white onion, and I sliced tomato. And in that cast iron pan, I put a whole, like a quarter of a slab of butter for the for the saltiness. Change the way you look at it. Nothing is ugly. You can easily just change the way you look at it. I wouldn't label something like that. So butter in that hot skillet, and I wanted it to get very, very hot. So then I put a little bit of toasted sesame oil, because I love the way toasted sesame oil makes food taste. Yeah, when you change the way you look at what you look at changes. Nothing is ugly. Maybe it's a masterpiece that you have to understand. But I mean, and ugly doesn't have to be negative or bad. Everything is neutral to me. Stop putting such weight on silly things. And here's the thing, you're going to continue to live. So the cheat code is to enjoy it, because if you don't, it doesn't, every day is going to be terrible. Heaven, Cherry. So butter, the saltiness, and butter gives a nice mouthfeel. Toasted sesame oil, get it really hot, almost smoking. Then the mushrooms go in. Now I put the mushrooms in first because I want them to char. I want them to get a crispiness. Then the garlic, the white onion, and some scallions and tomato. And you don't add salt yet because I want those mushrooms to like char and get almost crunchy on the outside. But at the end, cumin, salt, pepper, oregano, and and that was it. And then I fried up some taco shells and I put that in the taco shell, the mushroom filling with avocado, with chopped cilantro, with fresh jalapeno, with my mom made some delicious salsa, and I make this vegan chipotle mayo. Oh, it was bellissimo. What's up, Carl? What's up? What's up? What's up? So I had that, and then I had a side of like salsa, avocado, and some chips. And then the day just kept getting better because I started this day like today's going to be great. And I was journaling how beautiful today is and how the sun's always on my skin and how I know it was so great. Well, all of my meals are delicious. Everything I eat is like this. So then my sister came home and brought some Shirley Temple sodas. Now, you know, I don't drink soda, but this was this all natural, pure cane sugar Shirley Temple Boyens. I have the bottle somewhere. So when we would travel, my dad would always get us Shirley Temples with extra cherries, especially when we would go to Marriott's, because my dad was always a Marriott member. And so if we went for dinner or lunch, he would always order us Shirley Temples. So it has a nostalgic, good feeling. And so I had these delicious tacos and then this delicious, I have it here. Oh, I had, thank you, this. And I was like, wow, it just keeps getting so much better. So I had this amazing shower with all my sister's new products, body scrubs and masks and oils and all of this. And then I have my delicious mushroom tacos that I've made. And then my sister said, oh, you could have one of these. And I had this and I thought, wow, this is just amazing. This is just great. And I saw the sun come out. So then I said, I have to go tan. And I came out and took everything off and just sat in the sun and tanned and almost took a nap. It just felt great. It feels great to just have the sun on your skin and feel like beautiful. Millennial builder. Okay, thank you. Held like a bowling ball. I don't know how that is. No. You can clarify that. I don't know what a DJ bird is. So the beauty of tanning, the beauty of sitting outside, the beauty of nature. I'm a lover of nature. The beauty of doing what you want. There's an element of rest that has been forgotten. Yes, I'm currently in California, which is where I landed once I fell out of heaven in California. And this is what I was thinking about in the shower. California, the water runs really hot. And me and my friends would laugh about this because anyone who travels, you remember certain things about places. Water pressure is one. Toilets flushing is one. The pressure of toilets. I mean, depending on where you go, certain countries, the water pressure is like non-existent. It's not even vitamin D. I just am always in the sun. I lay out and tan daily, or I sit in the sun daily. And there's something about California, the water is really hot. Now, the hottest water to me, like Germany and the UK have really, really hot water. I always say, I see why these Brits are always drinking tea. They can make tea with the shower water, like it's really hot. It's it's really really hot. And then there's places where you don't have hot water. I don't know. I stopped. It's over 60. It's between 60 and 65. I don't know the exact number. I would have to count. Sometimes I'm off, but I don't really count. I know it's more than 60, less than 70. I know that. That's the range. And there's places like today when I was thinking, yeah, California does have hot water. Like it's really hot. It's hot. Texas is weird because you're in the US, but like it will be summer. Thousands of times I've been to Belgium. Yes, puzzles. Texas, the water runs hot in summer, and that's weird. That's like a very third world country thing. Like it's weird. And because the water was so hot, I did not do my cold plunge, but at the end of my dreamy heavenly shower, yes, I've been to several countries in Africa, several times. I did a cold water shot at the end of my shower. So hot, hot, hot. It's really hot. That's why I'm extra hot when I'm in my home state of California. But then, well, no. In some places it's just cold. There's no, and that's exactly it. Until you have seen that whatever you consider normal is only normal for that one location. Adjusting the temperature of a water tank, people don't have that. You have a cold shower, that's just it. Or you have whatever temperature it comes out. Or if it's in the sun, then it's that temperature. But there is no adjusting. There's that's not there. That is a sign of a wealthy country if you can adjust the water pressure. But there's very wealthy countries that the shower is cold. When I lived in London, the girl I moved in with had already lived at the flat for like 3 years. And she says, Hope, on Sundays, the water doesn't get hot. I was like, what do you mean on Sundays, the water? Does the water know on Sunday not to check in? That doesn't even make sense. She says, no, it just doesn't get hot. I said, but you've been living here 3 years and you just allow the water not to get hot on a Sunday? And she said, well, it's upstairs. So the water, what's up, Joy for Life? So the water has to travel far so it doesn't heat up. And I'm like, none of this makes sense. You understand? You're telling me that because it's Sunday, the water doesn't get hot, like this is acceptable. And then you've known this for 3 years and you've just not had hot water on Sunday? Like that makes no sense. And she said, yeah. So I was like, this is crazy. But if that's acceptable or normal, this is relatively new. The UK, France, Belgium, but really like the UK, these are really old pipes, like hundreds of years old, really old. Most places in the US, they're relatively new pipes, unless you're in places like DC, New York, some of the founding places. But outside of that, there's nowhere in California where the plumbing is hundreds of years old. And the plumbing system for the city is. So it's not about saving money. It's a bigger problem overall, and it's the outlook of said problem. Yeah, New York has a pretty old structure. New York, Philadelphia, these are the founding places. Like anywhere West Coast is new. Philadelphia, New Hampshire, DC, these are the first places people came to. So the whole structure is Boston as well. Yeah, Boston is one of the founding places in the US. However, in the UK, that water is hot. And what I found was they would have two faucets, one that had cold water and the other had hot. And I was like, why isn't it just one funnel where I can adjust it cold, hot? Like it's just cold and it's just hot. So we would do like, if you needed to wash your face, you would turn on the cold, you would turn on the hot, and I would run my hands under the cold, fill it up with cold, and then just do this and get a little hot and splash it on my face. Because it was two different faucets. Now, again, the UK is old, really, really old. So to have these water lines merged, it wasn't done. So you had a hot and a cold, and the hot was so hot. And where else has hot water? Like Germany always has great water pressure. This is why I love Germany and their engineering. They always have perfect temperature. It's the pristine engineering, German engineering, Japanese engineering. American engineering is not even in the conversation. However, like in Germany, the thought is I don't need to heat the whole house. I just need to heat the room. So there's not, every room has an individual thermostat. You wouldn't say I'm cold and heat the whole house. I'm cold, I'm heating this room, I'm in the kitchen, or I'm in my bedroom. So I turn on the thermostat for the bedroom, but I don't need to heat the entire house because I'm in one room. Does that make sense? And yeah, and I've done that too. I did that when we like lived in the country. Yeah, I don't care to do that. Like I can be pretty rural. I don't care to fetch water, and I have. It just depends where you're at. Sometimes your bathing is in a lake. I haven't really done that. I've always had like, even if it was a cold shower, if it's in an island or somewhere warm, again, I was just thinking because I travel so much, I don't have a consistency of my temperature of water. It depends where I'm at. If I'm on an island, I don't want the hottest water if it's already 90 degrees outside, compared to if I'm in Norway during winter, I would want a higher temperature, but it changes. And traveling, water pressure changes. And even within the States, like when I lived in DC, again, old pipes, really old pipes. And I kept thinking, why does it, when I turn on the faucet, it smells like eggs and it's sulfur because it's actually seeping in from the pipes. But these pipes are old. These are some of the founding colonies. So the structure is old. You can't just go and easily fix something when the structure has to all be redone. It's somewhat like life. It's there's a lot of things, it's not an easy fix. It may be something deeper, a deeper foundation, a structural design that we have to go and mend before that small, and it's not even a problem. It's just something that you adjust to. And I journaled this. I said, life is about adjustment. Like I don't have, you either complain or you adjust. An adjustment could just be, okay, it's cold here. That means I have to wear more clothing. Instead of saying it's cold, this is terrible, I hate this. No, I just adjust. If I don't like how someone's treating me, I withdraw my energy from them. Or or maybe it's me, but I adjust. And that ease of adjustment is the ease of life, how quickly you can adjust. And are you willing to adjust? Because if you're not willing to adjust, you'll probably just complain and you'll probably just blame, and the problem will never be solved because all it takes is adjusting. Does that make sense? So, water pressure, yes. Germany, most of Europe, but specifically Germany, Switzerland, probably Holland, but I always think Germany and Switzerland because they have some of the best water pressure. They just have a great system. Japan, where else? Oh, see, now, depending on where you are in South America, water pressure may be very nice, but the temperature may not be as hot because it's not the norm to have like excruciating hot showers. Yeah, but it depends what country you're in Africa. I mean, if you're in Eritrea, it may be different from if you're in Mali. If you're in Nigeria, it may be different from if you're in South Africa. I mean, it's like saying, well, in America, we do too. It depends where you're at. And everywhere that I've been, because I used to go to Senegal for my birthday for several years. And I would just go because I love Dakar. But I would always usually spend, oh, okay, Angola, okay. Spend a few birthdays. There was a few consecutive birthdays in Senegal. Again, I'm in a hotel, so you may not be able to tell in a hotel. You can actually tell at someone's home. I will. And the places that have not the strongest, I don't, nowhere really stood out. But I do remember talking to one of my friends, and she would say we remember like the strength of the toilet. We remember, because that's another thing. Our toilets in the U.S., they like spin. What is that? They funnel down. Other toilets, it just flushes it down. And then you have Japan with your wonderful bidets, which I always have. I love a bidet. Of course, most Americans don't have bidets, and it's the best, most hygienic way. No, I haven't. I have not, Yassine. So that, yes, water pressure, toilets, price of bottle of water. Like one of my friends, she's lived in about 5 different countries, and she said we'll say like, okay, how much is like a bottle of water? What is it like US? Like 50 cents, 25 cents? That's a good measure of currency strength. How much a bottle of water is. And I remember when I was in Norway, because she lives in Oslo, she married a lovely, lovely man who's Cape Verdean, born and raised in Oslo. And so their wedding was in Oslo. And I don't ever have expectations. I mean, I may have some slight expectation, like if I'm going to a new country, say in like Europe, because it's in Europe, I kind of have a barometer for what may come, but I'm open. And Norway was, first of all, Norway is like you hit the social structure lottery because it's extremely safe. The U.S. is not safe, just so you know. The U.S. people have pews. Most countries don't ever have to think about that because it's not normal for just anyone to have a pew. So Norway, extremely safe, exceptional healthcare, exceptional schooling. Um, yeah, healthcare. Um, yeah, yeah, and water is more hygienic. Uh, just everything. It's just very different, as everywhere is. But in Norway, um, the drinking culture surprised me because the drinking culture surprised me in the UK. I'm here from the US where it is illegal to be outside and drunk. Like you can be arrested for that. Um, Seeing that in the UK where people are toasted, like stumbling, drunk, throwing up, passing out on the street, that was crazy. Like walking over puddles of vomit and women in dresses sprawled out on a sidewalk. Like, this is crazy. This is, whoa. It's such a different way of drinking culture. And yesing, sure, I understand that. Um, Also, the US is about quantity. It's all about more, more, more. Americans don't know what quality is. They don't know what quality is. You would not know a good tomato if you had one because most people you don't know fruits or vegetables. So to expect to know what tastes good and is actually aiding your body if you haven't had real produce, and by real produce, I mean being able to identify vegetables and use them in daily cooking outside of the six that everyone uses, meaning I would guess that a large portion of people think the range of vegetables is garlic, onion, bell pepper, tomato, maybe a carrot, maybe a cucumber, maybe spinach, but definitely nothing outside of that. No thought of what is in season, because there's a reason why certain things grow at certain seasons. Not eating the same vegetable the entire year. It doesn't harm your body, but at different times of the year, our bodies need different things. In the winter, when it's colder or there may be less sun, your body may need nutrients from the vegetables that are currently blooming in that season. Well, there's different vegetation anywhere you go. That's with any state, that's with anything. Um, However, I never wanted a boring life. Like, to me, I can say most people, yeah, are boring, but they're boring because they don't know the courage they have and the courage that could create a different life. Meaning, I'm not going to try because I don't believe I can do it, or I don't even know it's possible, or I won't even allow myself to think that far. That's it. I've never wanted that boring life. I've never wanted the track home. I mean, I had a nice track home. I My parents provided me with beautiful homes, and I always liked really modern homes, really eclectic homes. I would see homes that were made out of tin or of all solar panels. Like, I know my home when I build it, because it just doesn't exist, would be one of those homes where people would say, oh yeah, of course this is Hope's home. And I just started living as such. I don't really complain about my life because there's nothing to complain about, but I know I'm the architect of it. There's no one I can blame or there's no one who can take responsibility for my life. I do. I have. That's why I can sit and say, I've traveled to all these countries, I've lived abroad, I've done really amazing things, and I'll continue to do more. But it just comes from the courage of trying. And it also comes from the courage of who you want to develop into. I know I'm interesting. I can talk about a lot of different things because I like to learn. I'm open-minded. I don't believe one thing is the definite way. I'm open to learning other ways and other methods. But if you're not, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So now that I'm not in the sun, I need to get a sweatshirt. Hold on. Ooh, the sun will come back. Yeah, but most people do stop themselves. They don't even know what they want. Most people don't know what they want. Well, if someone said, okay, if the manager or the owner of your company said, what do you want? We like you, what do you want? Most people couldn't even tell you. They would say, maybe more money. Maybe more money? What do you want? What's the number? If someone said, okay, tell me the number you want right now. What is the number? You don't even know. And most of you wouldn't even be able to justify your number. And it's not a justification. I believe whatever you want is yours. But you don't even believe you should have it. You don't even believe you should have it. But wanting more money and knowing how much you want is very different. And being confident with saying, this is the exact number. That's it. You can want more money, but how much? How much? What is the number? You don't know. If you don't know, how are you supposed to aim towards anything? How are you even supposed to dream? I know I want more, but I don't know how much more. I know I deserve more, but I don't know what that looks like. I know I want a different job, but I don't know what that looks like for me. What does that look like? You can say you want a new job, sure. What would you want to do? If someone said, I'll pay you whatever amount for whatever you want to do, can you build them that picture? By telling them, yes, I want more money and I want less work and I only want to do it twice a week. Sure. Okay, but what are you doing? Not what are you currently doing? What would you want to do? Would you want to plant roses? What would you want? And I'm saying this because if you don't have that dream of what you would want in life, what are you doing? You're just on auto repeat. You're just going to work and complaining and not really doing much and maybe planning to take a vacation. You don't even know what it could look like if you had a fantasy that someone could grant. You don't know. You don't know. And that's dangerous because that's that lack of even dreaming. Would I want to start over somewhere? Would I want to live in a foreign country? What would that look like? What would it look like if I lived on an island? What would it look like if I lived in a penthouse, a high rise in New York? Think about that. Get away. This cat just jumped the fence and just started drinking my water. I don't even know who this cat belongs to. That is my water. This cat just jumped the fence, and I don't know whose cat this is, but whoever's cat this is, it just came and started drinking my water. I was drinking that water. I guess not anymore. And that's the thing. Be like a cat. Cats don't care. I like to operate like a cat. This cat probably lives in some house, nice and comfortable, just trespasses. Exactly. It knows what it wants, jumps over the fence, comes over here into my nice little seating area, and says, I'm thirsty, and proceeds to drink my water. That's how I look at life. I don't really look at the fence or the barriers. I just, I love the cat. I love animals. I don't see the barriers. I just see what I want, and I go. I'm like the cat. But again, if you don't know what you want, you typically will just stay where you are, miserable, complaining, and not changing. The reason why I have all of these stories is just because well, it is the truth. I mean, it is the truth. I don't see barriers. And yes, fear, I understand it, but fear doesn't stop me. That's what you got to get to a point where it's that or nothing. It's that or nothing. I want that, and I'll get that. Exactly. I don't even know where I think it's a neighbor's cat, but that's what I love about cats. It disappeared. It came and drank my water, and I think it's just jumped the fence and went back to its home. I don't know. That cat motivated me, okay? And the sun should be coming back around, because if not, I'll have to go get the rest of my sun, my tanning time, before the sun goes down. Also with that, yeah, the cat said thanks. The cat is back. With that comes a certain sense of pride, and a pride that most people aren't going to get it. It's not about people getting it. People won't get it. It's not that I don't want people to understand me. I just don't really care. I understand me. So I'm never looking for someone to see life the way I see it. I've had a really amazing life. I've taken chances that have paid off. And everyone has. But I'm really content within my bravery and my space. Meaning, there's a lot of people that I just won't be around. I don't care to really talk about meaningless things. And I saw something about not liking small talk, and I don't. Like, when someone says, "Oh, how's the weather?" "Oh, okay. What are you eating there? What sandwich did you order?" That, like, we gotta have something with a bit more substance. The small talk is just meaningless because there's so much in life that's interesting. And did you? Oh, thank you, Paper Chaser. Yeah, I've been, usually anyone who's on my live, all of my lives, I pop up when I feel, but I post them all to my YouTube channel at Hope is Speaking. Go subscribe to Hope is Speaking. I just put a 3-minute, sure, but I live in Hawaii, so the weather's always nice, and like, I don't want to talk about the weather. That's dumb. My YouTube has all of my lives. Go subscribe and watch my lives. They're fantastic. And I also put a 3-minute meditation. This was the day before yesterday. Now, it's a meditation, it's mindfulness, it's a breathing exercise, it's 180 seconds of relaxation. I think that's the name of it. Because sometimes meditation, there's too much weight. Thank you, T. There's too much weight put on that. Like, oh, I'm meditating. Like, you're just breathing. And it's 3 minutes. And it's me actually sitting here in the backyard like I do. And it's, thank you, Christina. Thank you for joining, Storm. And thank you for the follow, La Vie, Annalie. Annalie, that's very French. Annalie, it's like there's another very French name, Elodie. Elodie is very French. It's a very French common name. Elodie, Annalise. So yeah, subscribe to my YouTube. I have my 3-minute meditation. Ah oui, c'est vrai. I thought so. Je connais. As well as affirmations and cool stuff. I post just about every day. So if not, I never really skip more than a few days. And if I do, I'll tell you. But I'm always posting to my YouTube and it's great. I'm going to be doing more lives on that as well. And if you haven't, my link in bio, you can see my TED Talk that I gave in October, which is amazing. Called, or you can go to YouTube. It's in my link in bio and it just says my TED Talk, or go to YouTube and you can put in the search bar, Hope, the emergency landing you need, TED Talk, and you'll see what I do. So yeah, I don't care if people, like me or not. People do. Here's the other thing. People love me. This is why I have this stance. People love me. What's not to love? Okay? What's not to love? There's that. I am very magnetic and I understand why people love me. I love me too. And I'm a good time. If you're not a good time, people probably won't want to be around you. And that's okay. That's a beautiful space to say, like, man, I'm actually the bad guy. My life is amazing. Yeah, it still exists. It does. If you're the bad person in someone's story, learn from it. Thank you, Nancy and Daniel. Learn from that. It doesn't have to be like the detriment of your life. And stop letting menial things like take away your entire day. Please explain to me how one small thing in the day will cause the whole day to go away. Like one thing that someone said, one small action that was unexpected, how can you not just like brush it off and let it go? You know, I just don't, that's, my day is too great. My life is too great to allow one thing to take me off track. This is why I come out and sit in the sun naked and tan, because it feels great. I'm not talking about retirement. I'm talking about tomorrow. See, here's the thing. Someone had said this yesterday on my live. They said, we were talking about money and he said, oh, so you want $1 million? And I said, what is $1 million? Like here's the thing. I forget. Well, you're not me, of course, but if I can dream, my dream is going to be so expanded. I'm not going to limit my dream. I'm not going to limit my dream. I'm never going to limit my dream. Maybe, but I don't. Okay, sure. Okay. And I'm not thinking about retirement. I'm thinking about tomorrow. Like, what would that feel like if tomorrow you just, I'm not thinking millions. I'm thinking of trusts and names after being named, a library being named, or a wing of a museum. That's too small. $1 million cannot change the course of my existence. Yeah, I'm even saying expand that. As someone who retired at 36, what I'm saying is expand that. And just think, what would that feel like? Not, this is why I'm saying expand your dream. Y'all are talking about, well, someone had said, when I retire, I'll have 10 or 12 grand. I said, for me, that's not a lot. For me, that's not a lot, especially if that's in 7 to 10 years time. That is not a lot for me. But that's how expanded my vision is, in the sense that I have unlimited thinking. And it's not about, thank you, Nancy. Oh, Walter White, I am thriving, glowing, and hydrated. It is dreaming. Like, y'all are thinking, what is comfortable? What do I think I can do? No. What will I do that I'm excited about building myself into? Okay, let's say 10,000. What would it look like if it was $1 million? What would your life look like? You're retiring with 10,000, great. What would it look like if it was $1 million a month? And the fact that you would probably think that's impossible is why the thought should exist. Because you don't even think it's possible. And there's no way that it's not possible. But just the thought of it being possible, and just the thought of like, what would my life look like if that was it? Because 1 million a month, let's say that's 12 a year. We can whittle that down to 7. But if we do certain tax practices, let's just say willingly 7 a year. Then what? Because I appreciate you too. I had the thought, I said, okay, so 100 million a year garners roughly about 5 million just on interest. So let's say I had 100 million in a trust, my trust, the hopeful trust. Just the interest alone, just the interest, me doing nothing, just the interest. I'm earning on the interest 5 million. And that's me doing nothing. What does that look like? What does that look like when you actually don't do anything and the money earns interest that is 5 million? What does that look like? What does that feel like? What would that be like? Where would I live? What would I do? Would I put it into a nonprofit? Would I set up a family trust? So anyone who is going to school just would file with the trust and they would get the money. Would I aid with people's dental health for underprivileged children? Would I travel the world? What would that look like? Start expanding. But you even that thought is courage, because most people will say that would never happen. I don't even know anyone that has happened to, and it would never happen to me. That is a problem. Expand your vision of yourself. Why not? Why not you? Life is all a mind game. It's about thinking what you can do, and then it subtly just wheels start turning. But if you don't even think about it, like you punish yourself to think about it, Like, why would I think about that? I don't feel safe with that. People with money are terrible and they're evil. I would never have that much. Well, why not? How about you have it and you're not? And why does that have to equal, like, it's the questions. It's the questions. Okay, so I've been holding on to something where I've been thinking large amount of money is negative because I've always thought that people with money are bad, and maybe that's what's keeping me from it. Maybe I don't know what to do with it. Maybe I'm not safe around it. It's these questions. Because $10,000 isn't a lot realistically, but just the thought of what would my life be like if it was $1 million? Just think of a number that seems so out of reach and just think, what would that look like? Would I just shop all day? Would I read books all day? Would I continue to work? Would I change my profession? Would I get surgery? Would I build a new home? Would I not have a home and just travel around in an RV? What would that life look like? And I believe that is that secret to creating it. But if you don't think about it and you only focus on what you don't have and that it's not possible, I think that keeps you where you're at. And I refuse to not expand. And I refuse to, thank you, Duco, for the follow, to allow anyone's small vision of their selves to tell me how I should view my life. I'm not going to tell you that, Danielle. Why would I tell you that? If you can clarify how that is beneficial. Because again, when I speak of money, there's two things. Life is a mind game. Money is also somewhat of a thought or image. Most are so afraid of money that your limits are pretty rigid. Your limits are pretty rigid. Meaning, first of all, let me tell you this. Most people don't know what big money is. They don't. Your average person is, well, then you won't. That's where it starts, Danielle. You have to start with that. If you're, why would you, first of all, that doesn't even exist, you not having enough. It may have, but even just imagining that you'll never have enough is the problem that needs to be solved now, because that goes deeper. Because if you're already thinking in the future, I won't have it, the future, the definition of future is the exact time a word is spoken or written, which means it's now. You have to actually heal that and get to the root of that. Because most people have really deep money wounds. Psychology speaking, most people. And if you are American, it's deep. And if you are whatever label that you claim, it probably runs even deeper. The difference was I learned about money extensively from my dad, and I was always interested, and I saw how easily people just mold to what they think money is. They mold to what they think money is. If I see a nice car and someone's stepping out of it, they have an unlimited source of money that I don't have. And for some reason, they know more than me, and they are better than me, and they are smarter than me, and they have something I don't have, which all of it is incorrect. And anything you see visually isn't really the semblance of wealth. A car or a home isn't really the semblance of wealth. Big money, it's certain code words. It's certain locations in the world. It's certain private schools. It's certain trust funds. It's certain associations. But it's never a label. It's never like Gucci. It's much It's a confidence. Because this is why I know when someone has an extreme fear of lack of money or consistently in lack. There is a lack. There's a lack in everything. I don't use that up. Well, why? Well, that means I have to buy another one. Okay. Well, so what? Either you buy it or I buy it, but why the focus on don't use that up? Because the fear is I won't have it to replace it. And I don't like being around people who are like this all the time. It's not fun being around individuals that fear lack of money. Well, it's also, money is why? Yeah, there's that, but it's also a freedom. Like, I am rich. I've always been wealthy. It's always been wealthy. I don't claim that. So when you say we know that feeling, I don't claim that. Yeah, but a lifestyle can be created in any way. This is why I became a flight attendant. My lifestyle was to travel the world. That doesn't mean that I have to have 14 million a month to do, but I found a way to live the life that I want. The less money you have, the more creative you can be. And also, it's not always about money. If you want something, you can get it. You may know someone that may have it. You may know someone that may gift it to you. You may know someone, of course it is, but I don't know what comfort is to you. Comfort to me is doing whatever I want. Meaning, if I want to go out to dinner, I go out to dinner and I get whatever I want and then I go home. I never go into a restaurant thinking this is way too expensive, I can only get this. No. Meaning, if I want to chill and sit and tan for the day, I'm going to chill and sit and tan for the day. Meaning, if I want to move, then I'll just up and move. Meaning, if I want to travel, that to me is my freedom. That is the life I want. That is comfort to me. That is, I'm not looking at any economy fare ticket just because I don't like economy. It's not comfortable to me. I don't feel... comfort is great. I was joking with my mom that, yeah, go, then that's it. Sure, but you have the same information on the internet. There's YouTube, there's something, you can Google, I want to learn about money and watch a documentary on YouTube today. How is the financial system set up? Like, that is important. Also, just being aware that you don't know. This is why you're in the position. Most of us are in whatever predicament we're in because we don't have information. I don't care. What does that have to do with anything, Danielle? There's so many information out there. Sure, that's great. Start with one piece today. Whenever someone tells me their resistance, I see why you are consistently in your space. Because you are just telling me why it can't happen for you. There's a saying that says, when you argue for your limitations, you get to keep them. When you argue for your limitations, you get to keep them. When you argue, when you state something that may keep it from you, you're defining why it will never be yours. It's not about you knowing what's helpful or not. It's about you starting. The more information you have, then you can filter that out. But why automatically assume that it's not helpful? You don't know. The more that you know is helpful. But if you don't know, you're not helping yourself. You're not helping yourself. And I don't know, watch something on the Carnegies, but do something that is information that just sparks more information. Wow, I learned about this. Now let me go Google this. Oh, okay. I like to learn about a lot of these families, from the Carnegies to Henry Ford to, like, there's a lot of just general information about how dynasties were built. That's how I dream. I don't dream in like, all right, we got this much. No, 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 no. Dynasties. And it doesn't just have to be here. This is around the world. You can read about, this is when I went to Mali, Bamako. I used to go to Bamako all the time. Masa Musa. There's I remember one time crying because I think I was in Senegal. And I was just walking around or in one of the taxis looking at the beauty and the chaos and the smells, the beautiful smells and the richness of the sun and the colors and just everything, and thinking so many people are detached from the dynasties and the mathematicians and the scientists and the information that's always been inherently in us. But until you see and know that it's there, you just believe it's not you. And specifically for Black Americans, I feel that there's a deep sense of a lack of worthiness and love. And what I found in my travels was the greatness that is in you has always been there. I don't think it's always been taken. Some people would say history was taken. I also have an outlook of believing that the journey of life is getting back to you. And once it's understood the greatness and the power and the true dynasty that you are within yourself, you start to understand, oh, I am great. I don't need anything to tell me I'm great. I've always been great. And now that I know, I will operate as the greatness that I am. And this is the same in every country. When I would go to Japan or China or Brazil or all of these places, it's not just Henry Ford. Every place in the world had its own mathematicians and social structures and doctors and performers and scientists. And it's in you. Don't feel detached from the dynasty that is you. Don't be detached from the magic that is you. I do believe that it's not that someone took it from you. Maybe the goal is to realize the beauty that it's always been you. And all of this hardship, I don't believe in like suffering for your entire life. I don't think suffrage begets greatness. I'm not there with that, okay? I do not believe endless suffering is what makes someone great. Absolutely not. There's a point where I want to feel good and I want to feel comfortable and I feel like there's an abundance. I'm not going to operate and say I can endure. I will just take and not have to develop into the greatness. No, I'm not with that. Not at all. And all it takes is just new information. So specifically, Danielle, when I say watch something, it's just the action of doing. That's that action of doing. And then once you do it, it just happens again. Something else interests you. Like I'm always reading and doing these things because I enjoy learning. And I had saw some content that said like, be interesting. It's helpful to be able to be interesting because you never know what room you walk into, and no one just wants to talk about like the hot dog you ate last week. Be interesting. Have something to say. Have a story. Know something interesting. Be able to carry a conversation knowing that I have something to say. That also comes from just like living. The whole thing is to live and explore, to gain these ideas and constantly expand yourself. You have all the information. You do. And until you allow yourself to truly be or envision what you want, it just starts there. It starts in that vision. And seeing yourself as something larger and knowing that you can actually own the fact that it is you. Thank you, It's a Vibe. Thank you. I was thinking of changing it. You may see some changes. It's time to change it. It is you, Danielle. And that's what I say. I'm going to always talk about my TED Talk. Go watch my TED Talk because that is the founding chorus of my TED Talk. It's you. And I said that because, well, I've done a good job at building myself because I'm a badass and I have courage and I don't listen to people and like I allow people to be people. I don't change people. I'm always in the course of action of changing myself and I like myself and I do great things for myself. And even when things are hard or when we label them as hard, I can still have a smile on my face. I'm able to keep myself in a very neutral, positive space. That's a secret. There's nothing that will take me away from that. Ever. I have that control. When I spoke about me being in the hospital with my dad in the ICU on my birthday, I did not say, man, it's my 40th birthday. I'm in the hospital. My dad's in the ICU. Thanksgiving, this is terrible. I said, I am grateful to be here. I'm grateful that I'm spending time with my father. I'm grateful that I'm able to have this experience, and I'm just grateful. I don't have to label someone in the hospital that's bad. No, listen, this man is 76 years old. He's had 5 beautiful daughters, spoiled us. Now we're building our own legacy. Like, this is the greatest thing. This is a direct reflection of my parents. And I say that often, even though now my mom's annoying and I never knew that she was so annoying. But it's just because I'm a woman now, so it's different. And I love my mom, but that's it. My mom is just annoying. And when I say I don't listen to people, I see why. Like this holiday, I've had so many eye-opening realizations. I see why I'm this defiant. My mom will come in and say like, well, what time are you going to do such and such? And I'll say, why? I don't understand how this information, how me telling you the time that I'm doing something, how that's beneficial to your life in any way, how it helps you, how it aids you. You just want to come ask a question. Thank you. I just said, Mom, I'm not going to tell you that. I'm not going to tell you that. Now, if it had any relevance, but I'm not going to tell you that time. And I love you, but no. I see how that defiance was bred because I even told a boyfriend this. What's up, NP for me? I jumped into your live earlier and I heard you talking about sometimes I want to I usually send you a message, but you were speaking about thyroid. I think you were speaking about thyroid medication or taking a thyroid test. Uh, Thank you. Yeah, that's why Hope is speaking. Listen, I'm living the dream. And I do love my mom. I do. It's just like, Mom, I'm not telling you that. Like, if I was, why do I need to tell you that? Back to the boyfriend thing. My dad would always ask me, where are you going? When are you going to be back? I don't like when people ask me that. And I had told the boyfriend, because when he would call me, he would say, where are you? And I would say, why does that matter? What do you want? I just told him, I don't like being asked where I'm at. I feel like I have to report. And what do you want? I'm out shopping, but what do you want? And why do you need to know where I'm at? I'm out. I don't report to anyone. I report to me. After I stop reporting to my parents, I don't report to anyone. What do you need? If you just want to talk to me, then let's talk. But I don't need to tell you where I'm in the world. I'm somewhere. And I think I got my thoughts out. I'm somewhere. Yeah, I'm somewhere. I'm somewhere. I'm here in the world. And usually I was traveling, but even if I wasn't, I'm somewhere. What do you need to, what does that fulfill for you in your life today? It's just a filler. It doesn't do anything. I'm not going to answer that. And also, my sister had said, we have people, not currently, because, I don't respond. As I said, when I see nothing, I say nothing. So it's not an argument. I just don't respond. I'm grown. I have done an amazing job at life. I don't need to answer that. And I won't. Okay? It's that easy. It's not good or bad. I'm not angry. I'm not sad. I'm neutral. And I'm not answering that. And I remember my sister saying for me, like, to wash some dishes. And we have people that come and assist 3 days a week with my father when he's here, as well as like light cleaning around my parents' home. So my mom, let's say if they come on a Monday, my mom will say, leave all the dishes in the sink on a Sunday night because the people are coming and they'll wash the dishes and da-da-da. And I said, okay. So I don't care. Yeah, I don't like that. That's great that you care about me, but so what? I had a sister call me and she said, are you okay? You said you were going to be here. And I was worried because you're not here. I said, listen, if I was in a predicament, I would not call you. That's first of all, I would not call you because from my life experience, there is no way that you would be able to aid me. That's first of all. Second of all, this is your anxiety. Okay. This is your anxiety. And third of all, get off my phone. Like, you need to check up on me. Why? What do you have that if I was in trouble, that you could rectify the situation? Logically speaking. Don't ask me, are you okay? I've survived so much. When I jokingly say, like, being ran over by a motorcycle, kicked out of a country, hitchhiked in, like, the rainforest in Mexico, I have all of these stories. How do you think I would not be okay? When you all fall apart, when you don't have $2 to buy a hamburger. No, I'm fine. Don't call me to ask me if I'm okay. I don't need you to call 911 for me. I don't need you. I'm absolutely amazing. You aren't the person I would call. I know how to get what I need. All right? I know how to get what I need, and it's not through you. So don't do that. Don't do that. Anyway, so my sister had said, you need to put these dishes away. And I had said, okay. I don't listen to you. And this is to my little sister. I don't listen to you. Now, what mom told me is the people are coming in the morning, so she leaves the dishes in the sink because they wash the dishes and put them up. Well, mom doesn't know their job duties and you have to wash these dishes. My sister's 5 years younger than me. And that's when I said, okay, I understand what you're saying and I hear you. I don't listen to you and I won't listen to you. And I'm going to use the information that mom gave me. And my sister looked at me in the eye and she said, well, why aren't you listening to me? And I said, I don't take direction from you. Like, I'm hearing you. I'm physically hearing you. I'm not listening to you. And I'm not going to do what you're asking of me. You don't have any jurisdiction in my life. And this was said in a very confrontational, conversational manner. I don't listen to you. No, I listen to me. And the other authority in this situation would be mom. But you, my sister, I don't listen to you. And it's not in a negative way. I just don't understand why you're telling me this. And I will continue to leave these dishes because the person's coming to clean them. So thank you. And now let me go make a cup of tea. I have that much love of myself. I've done life really well. I've done a lot in life. I don't seek other people's advice. And I never listen to people. I never listen to people because most are just speaking from their insecurities, not from their actual lived life. When someone said, I would never live on an island. Well, that's sure, but you haven't lived anywhere other than your hometown. So that's just a thought. I'm saying this from actually doing it. So for me, my information has a lot more weight because I could say, oh, I've been to these places. I've lived here. I've lived here. I've lived here. I've lived here. And this is why I like to live here. If you haven't done it, you're just formulating a response from your perspective in life, not from actually doing it, not from actual experience. That has no weight to me. People don't give me advice because I don't ask for people's advice. I trust my decisions. I'm a great decision maker. I'm a great problem solver. I'm great at making solutions and I trust myself. I'm not asking anyone and people know not to offer. They know not to offer. Now, if there is something I do need, I know where to get it. But still, for me, in general, I don't ask people's advice. And in general, people won't offer because of this. You hear what I'm saying? I'm not just saying this here on TikTok. I've said this. This is known. Most people to me are idiots because they're asking the wrong people the wrong questions. I am not going to, if it was about a relationship, I would ask maybe my mom who's been married for 50 years and they laugh and go out on weekly dates and have a good time. I'm not going to ask some idiot who hasn't sustained a healthy relationship. For me to go to to say, well, how should I do this for my relationship when you haven't even exhibited what I see for my life, I'm the idiot. And a lot of people are asking the wrong people for information. Figure it out yourself. That's what I say. I'll figure it out. I'm figuring it out. I will figure it out. Of all people, it's me, and I trust me. But it comes to trusting. And also, I have a lot of experience, and furthermore, I trust my decisions. So whatever decision I make, I trust it. And I believe I have all the information to work out anything that comes to me. That's it. That's why I'm all in one shop. That's it. Thank you, Paper Chaser, for the gifts. So I'm going to go have a cup of tea and a chocolate because why not? A Haselnuss, which is hazelnut in German. Hazelnut is one of my favorite. I love hazelnut everything. And hazelnut is used a lot, especially in a lot in Europe. Haselnuss, praline. I think praline is hazelnut in French. Oh yeah, Kinder Bueno too. Kinder Bueno, I love. So I'm uploading a lot of new content onto YouTube. Please go subscribe to my YouTube, Hope is Speaking. All of my lives, I will download this and upload. All of my lives are uploaded, as well as meditations, affirmations, speaking, more just honesty like this, because I really like just speaking and creating. And in this meantime, before I take off again for events that you will be hearing about, there will be basically daily uploads onto YouTube. So with pleasure, Paper Chaser, subscribe to my YouTube and check out my link in bio for everything else, for my TED Talk, for new things that are coming, and continue to love and be love and speak hope and be the reflection of love, because we all come from an infinite source of love. Show up. I showed up today. I really showed up to take all my clothes off and tan, which I did. I love just laying out and tanning because you like to look good without any clothes on, which is a reason why I do a lot of the things that I do. And tan lines aren't great. So show up, make it look good when you show up. That's why I tan, and drink my water and eat good food. And just start being like you and discovering what that is. Yes, Paper Chaser. Discovering what that is. Quit looking to others. People are lame. I'm cool. I can say that. I'm cool. Most aren't, but I am. But define your coolness in your own way by just like living. Having some stories. Stop being afraid and get out there. And then tell me how it is, because it can be good. It can be good. I don't know if I'll be back on this weekend, but I'll definitely be on YouTube. I usually take the weekend off to live, and I may be flying somewhere for a little getaway surprise. So you will see me definitely Monday. Maybe this weekend, but definitely Monday. Until that time, make it look good. Listen, let me just show you the fit, because I had actually got this when I went thrifting before my birthday. And you know, I love a jumpsuit, and I dress for every day because I show up for life. You got to show up for life. So I show up for life, you know? I love color, and I love to feel beautiful, which I do. And now I'm going to go have a nice hot cup of tea and some chocolate. And that's it. With pleasure, Danielle. Thank you, everyone. And if you have a cup of tea, think of me, because I always love some tea. Thank you, Paper Chaser. Thank you. Ciao.